Hello guys, it's T-Rex here and welcome to episode 16 of Star System Spotlights, this time featuring Freng. Freng is an independent and corporate system located approximately 93 light years away from Earth, or the solar system, and it has an industrial and refinery economy. So now let's first take a look at the system map. Freng has a class M red star, very normal. And first comes the Freng A belt, which has common reserves, nice place to go mining. Now the most interesting planet in this system is probably Freng 1, which is a water world. We will go into the specifics of a water world very soon. So let's go through the other planets first. Then comes Freng 2, icy planets. Then we have Freng 3 to Freng 7, which are all gas giants of different sizes and classes. There is one starport and 2 outposts in this station. The 2 outposts are relatively small, so and they don't provide that much facilities. So if you are going to the system, whether to trade or do anything, you should go to Bear City, which is located in Freng 4, one of its moons. So let's go to the specifics about a water world. So a water world is otherwise known as an ocean planet, and it is a relatively new class of planets that have been discovered in the recent years through the Kepler telescope. So these kind of planets have their mass is substantially made up of water or entirely made up of water. So they are very interesting planets that we have just discovered. So this one, Freng 1, has a radius of 15,000 kilometers. That is pretty large compared to Earth. And I calculated, so if we want to go around, so since the planet is completely water almost, we can go around it by a cruise ship, let's just say. So I calculated the 2 pi r, so using this radius, basically the circumference of this planet, and it would turn out to be about 96,000 kilometers. And if we were in an average cruise ship traveling about 30 kilometers per hour, then it would approximately take us 133 days to go around it once on water. Because now you can maybe see some land on Freng 1, but so this is not the typical water world, because a water world should consist of almost 100% water, so absolutely no land. But Freng 1 is one of those rare ones where it actually has land on it. So let's look at the atmosphere. So it is mostly made of nitrogen and argon, and a little bit of carbon dioxide. Its composition, however, is very interesting. So we can see that Freng, so those land parts that we can see is approximately that 4.3% rock and 2.1% metal, and there is 93.6% ice, and that's what that includes the ice at the bottom of the oceans, and of course the water on top. Now, how do these water worlds actually form? So you can see its brother here, right here, Freng 2, which is an icy planet. So scientists right now predict that water worlds are formed due to icy planets migrating from the outer parts of the system to the inner parts of the system, and due to the increased heat that they get from their parent star, the ice from these ice planets will start to melt, and eventually they become these water worlds that can sustain carbon water based life. So you can see this is before transformation and this is obviously after transformation, and both have similarities as they both have an argon rich atmosphere. So we can see this is a very nice example of how a water world was formed. So it has an orbital period of 139.1 days, since it is a lot closer to the sun than Earth is. So, and it is tidally locked, which means if you want to be sailing and enjoying the view, you would want to sail on the light side always. And yeah, it would be a pretty nice place. Special to this planet because it does have a large mass. It has 8 Earth masses. That means it has substantial gravity to keep the water very still and not that many waves. But if it was a smaller water world with less gravity, it could potentially have huge waves on the surface, and you do not want to be sailing your ship on there. So what it might feel like, so I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Interstellar yet. So the first planet that Tom Cruise and his fellow astronauts went on was this planet with, they thought it was like a lake or something with only knee-deep water, but it turned out to be like this huge wave coming towards them. Spoiler alert, sorry. So if you guys haven't seen that, then you probably don't know what I'm talking about, but a water world would look something like that. But the water here, the oceans we're talking about here, are hundreds of thousands of kilometers deep. So you don't really have an ocean surface on a true water world. So at the bottom of the oceans, technically there would be some form of exotic ice as the core of the planet, but other than that, there will be no solid rock surface under the planet. But as I said before, Freng 1 is special, and it does have land, some islands on it, so 4.3% rock. So there, I don't know, in some places there must be shallow beaches and something like that. So let's take a look at it. So this is Freng 1, a water world. So we can see actually there is a lot of land in respect to what a water world should be. So Freng 1 is not a typical water world. A typical water world should contain almost zero land. But we can see lots of islands on here on Freng 1, and there almost seems to be a huge continent over there, which I have absolutely no idea why it is still classified as a water world. But it is made up of 93% ice, so I guess that is why it's called in water world. So I'll give you guys a nice look of this. So water worlds are going to be your nice places to go sailing or whatever water sport you want to do. Especially Freng 1, since it's tidally locked. So you can, if you have the energy, you can play forever on light side because the sun will never set. You can have your I don't know, cruise parties on there forever, basically. So this is going to be the Freng system spotlight, and I will see you guys in episode 17 tomorrow.